talk about
I
prices.
was just gonna ask you if she texted you.
No, the reason I sent you all those questions because I'm like in between clients and work. I'm like, Danielle's not gonna know the answer to all these problems. Just tell her. But you know when you get a text, like when I get a text on my watch, especially work related, and I'm at work,
Yeah.
I try to answer it as quick as possible. So
Yeah,
sometimes I'm like always like thinking my best.
Yeah, no, you're like
I've done that before.
blowing out
I was
here.
like, I did to my friend the other day. I was like, I'm sorry if that came off as snotty what I just said to you, like, because you know when you're
it's quick.
Yeah, and that's why I tell people now, like, this is a quick text in between clients.
Yeah, no, I didn't. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave her your number.
We're basically the same. I mean, it might be $5 off here and there.
Yeah.
But I had it when you moved during a pandemic. Like, I was like telling my clients, "Thank you for moving, and by the way, you're paying, $5 more."
Yeah.
So.
Heard. No, she's in town for. We're going to the same wedding actually, but we're both going. It's in Maryland, which is the funny part. But she's here visiting for like 4 days prior. Okay. So she's like, who's your lash person? I'm like, I don't get lashes. Who do you love for hair? Like doing all her shit here. Yeah. And I'm like,
they actually do like, there's a girl that does lashes there too.
Really?
Yeah, because they have a med spa. It's so much nicer than when you walk in. It's like it's open. There's windows.
Hey.
It's not dark. Like when he painted it dark this lab. I don't know if I think you were there before he painted it all like dark blue. But this one's just more open. There's just more space in general.
Yeah,
so
that feels better. What's your name?
My name is Brooke.
Brooke, yes, gotcha. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, windows are everything. Lighting is everything.
Well, you know what? And even my clients tell me, like, you're so much more, like, you seem so much happier. I was like, that's not seems, that is.
You're like, you're right. Hey, everybody, let me get my headphones so you can hear me well. Morning. Can you hear me, everyone? Cool. Take it. Your work will still be there later. A playlist is coming, everyone, on Zoom. Just give me 1 sec. Okay. Here you go. Playlist link in the chat. I sent you the name, Laura. If you can't get the link to work, you can always look it up by the name or my username. I just resent all the information in case any of you are looking for it. There's the link for the playlist and then the name of it and my username. If you're on your phone, it's probably hard to click the link, so you can look it up with the name of the playlist too. So we'll start in Legs Up the Wall. So once you have your playlist going, just push play and take Legs Up the Wall. And if you're set up in front of your computer, you don't have a wall, you can always do Waterfall. All right, good morning, you guys. Let's start in Legs Up the Wall, just like Barbara's doing. And actually rest your legs against the wall. And find a way to rest your arms that's really comfortable too. Rest your head back, relax your eyes. If you just joined Zoom, I just put all the playlist information in the chat again. So yoga is a practice of purifying and cleansing the mind and the body. There's a kind of funny word in yoga. The word is dukkha, and it's all of the debris on the inside. So that includes like actual toxins from foods you eat or things you consume, or even like air you breathe if you live in like a city like we do here in Orlando. You know, it's just like it's just all the things that aren't your pure makeup and or pure nourishment. And it's also thoughts. So dukkha, the debris, it's anything on the inside, anything that's kind of coinciding with your cells that isn't serving or nourishing them. And so yoga is the process of purifying, getting rid of the dukkha. Walk your feet down the wall so you end up in something that looks like a knee squeeze. And if your legs aren't up a wall, just hug your knees in. Keep it gentle, keep it relaxed. So your kidneys are like the purifiers of your body, your kidneys and your liver. Right now, this pose is all about the kidneys. You notice your low back presses into the ground. That's where your kidneys live. So you want to make sure your hips are on the ground right now, actually. And then you'll feel what I'm saying. And then really just like get so heavy in your back body. It's like you feel gravity just pull you in. Roll over to one side all the way. Just roll over, curl up into a little ball. The same way you notice your chest expand when you take a breath in, right now notice the back body expand as you breathe in. For the next couple of breaths, just notice that. And come onto your hands and knees. Start moving your body. Move your feet, move your hips, move your spine, move your shoulders, move your head, your arms. Lift one arm up to the sky. Thread the needle. Pause for a second here. Take a few breaths. There's a lot of reasons why and ways that yoga does what I was just talking about, purifies. And the breath focus is one of the greatest ways. So you have some organs that work on purifying. So does your breath. Switch arms. Reach up on the other side. Twist, thread. Downward facing dog. Walk your feet up to your hands. Ragdoll. Shake out your head a bit, like you're knocking the thoughts side to side, the inner walls of your brain. And then let your head get still and just drop the top of your head toward the floor as heavy as you can. Like you've just opened a door to let the thoughts spill out. Roll up to standing. Take mountain pose and move your shoulders around a bit. Roll forward, roll back. Do one at a time, do both at the same time. Get your elbows going too. And take your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers. Lean back. Tilt your chin up. Keep leaning your head back. Open your elbows wider. Bring your hands to your heart. Drop your gaze to your fingertips. One Om together. Breathe in. May this practice cleanse and purify the stuff that doesn't serve you, the dukkha, the debris on the inside. May you get lighter and freer in your thoughts and in your body. Reach up, take a deep breath in. Fold forward, empty. Halfway up, plank pose. You could cat and cow or chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Walk up to your hands. Roll up. Reach up, put your hands behind your head like we just did and lean back. Open up your elbows wide. Bow forward. Half lift. Plank. Cat cow or chaturanga up dog. Down dog together. Gaze forward. Walk or jump. Halfway up. Fold in, let your head go. Reach up, deep breath in. Forward fold. halfway lift, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing, walk or hop to the top, halfway lift, fold in, reach up, inhale, bow forward, exhale, halfway, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Step 1 foot forward, runner's lunge. So stay on your hands or stay low. Couple of times, shift your weight from front to back. Try to get more weight in the front foot than the back one. And then shift it kind of left to right. You want to get a little off balance so you can find the center perfect balance. You want to know what it feels like to be on like one edge of your foot and then correct it by bringing your foot flat and centering your own kind of center of gravity. Drop your back knee and come up. Arms to the sky. Look up. Hands to your heart. Straighten your front legs. You're going to stay upright. It's going to challenge your balance a little. Then pull your toes up too, so you're on your heel only. Stay as upright as you can. Just shift your hips back toward your back foot and start to bow forward, but don't go all the way. Just a little lean until you feel more of the hamstrings. Take your hands down, flow forward and back. Half split, low lunge. Half split, a couple times. Low lunge. Step your back foot in, take halfway lift, come right up. Fold as you exhale, let your head go, drop your thoughts. Chair pose, inhale. Do the same like you just did in low lunge. Shift your weight around front to back, side to side until you establish your own kind of center, your own equilibrium, your own, your own source and sense of balance. Breathe in, bow forward, empty out. Halfway lift, plank. Come all the way down to your belly. Reach your arms back. Catch your hands behind your back. No need to lift up though, just catch your hands. And the only thing you're pulling away from the floor at this point is the heads of your shoulders. Just squeeze your shoulder blades together. Everything else stays on the floor, relaxed and just kind of settling into gravity. Then your shoulder heads pull back. Up dog, plant your hands. Lift up, look up, breathe in. Downward facing. Other foot, runner's lunge. All right, so keep your back knee up for now and toggle around, looking for your own center of gravity. Look for where you can press all four corners of the front foot down. So 2 in the heel, 1 near the big toe, 1 near the pinky toe. All four corners of your foot. Drop your back knee, reach up, In a low lunge for now, front knee bent, hands to your heart. Straighten your front leg, balance on your heel. Press your hips back toward your back foot. Lean forward through your chest and your hands, just a little, just enough to feel the hamstrings and your calf too. Drop your hands, flowing lunge, forward and back a few times. Step into half lift. So you're gonna pull yourself up as soon as you step in. Take a breath in, then bow, let it go. Chair pose, inhale. Mountain pose, exhale. Make sure you have plenty of room to step back, so you're toward the front of your space, wherever you are. Take your hands at heart, set your eyes. Pick up one leg, doesn't matter which one. So you're gonna take it slow motion. Imagine airplane pose. You wanna be kind of suspended in a pose like that. Kick back, take it slow motion. The landing place is warrior one, but you're going so slow. Eventually land and open your arms to the sky. Look up, take a breath. Catch your hands behind your back and bow, humble warrior to the inside of your leg. Plank. Breathe in. Chaturanga, empty. Up dog, breathe in. Down dog, empty. Every empty is a chance to create more Saucha. The word Saucha means cleanliness. So it's like the opposite of this word dukkha that we've been talking about. Walk or hop to the top. Come up halfway, breathe in. Bow, breathe out. All the way up, reach to the sky. Hands to your heart. Lock your eyes. Pick up your other knee. Super slow-mo. Suspending yourself somewhere in a pose like airplane as you kick back. Eventually land in warrior one. Reach up. Humble warrior, dive forward. Take your hands behind your back. Do that same thing like we did when I had you lay and everything was relaxed, but you pulled your shoulders back. Do that here too. Plank pose. Breathe in. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Step 1 foot forward. Come up. Crescent, high crescent now. Hands to heart center. Twist. Open your top arm to the sky. Take your eyes up to see your hand. So one of the practices in yoga that creates Saucha of the mind is drishti. So purposely setting your eyes on one thing. So you give your brain something to focus on. Keep your eyes on your hand, upper hand. Don't lose vision of it. Warrior two, come up to So you're reaching forward and your eyes are on your hand. Keep your eyes on your hand, side angle. So you're gonna actually be looking down when you're used to looking up. Look right at your fingers, your palm, the lines on your palm. Take your upper hand to the ground, but keep looking at your one hand you've been looking at, side plank. The one you're looking at has to go up. Deep breath in. Chaturanga. Take your eyes off your hand. Up dog, look up. Downward facing dog. Just like it's not really easy work to clean your whole house or even like one room of the house, like it takes something, it takes effort. Same thing with your body and same thing with your mind. Step the other foot forward. Come on up, crescent. Twist, hands to heart, hook your elbow. Lift your upper arm, gaze up at your hand. Get a good look at your hand. Set your sights on it and set your mind on it and set your heart on it. Yeah, right now it's just your hand, but like this is practice for, where in your life you need to set your sights on something really important to you. Warrior 2, keep looking at your hand. Don't lose it. Side angle, keep looking at your hand. It's the lower hand here, don't look up. That would be the default. Keep looking at your hand. You're staring right into your own palm. Take your upper hand to the floor. Side plank, kick back. Look at your hand, open up. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands and feet to the middle. So those of you at home, the most important thing is that there's not a wall in your way or anything in your way. Come on up. Pick one knee up and hug it. Hug it as tight as you can and actually like pull in. Use your arms to pull your knee to your body. Cross your ankle over your thigh like pigeon and sit down low like chair, standing pigeon. Flex your foot that you have crossed. Sit back a little more till you feel it in your hip and under the deep layers of glutes. Standing needle, unwind your leg, catch the floor, kick your leg to the sky. Make a tripod, like an equilateral triangle with your hands and your one foot. Pick your upper leg higher. Ragdoll. Come up. Grab your other knee, give it a good tight squeeze. Cross it over, standing pigeon. Standing split. Unwind your leg, kick it up. Make yourself a strong and stable foundation with your foot, one foot, and your two hands. And then kick your leg to the sky more. Yogi squat. Take your feet apart, turn your toes out, drop. Press your hands together at heart. You could either drop your eyes to your hands, set your vision there, or set it on a point on the floor. Bring it down low, or even close your eyes. Come down to a seat. Stretch your legs out in front. Point your toes. Point your toes so much that your calves like come to a hover off the floor. That's how strongly. And then flex them. But once you flex, you want to feel your legs press down into the floor. Your calves and the backs of your thighs too. Take your hands to the floor behind you. You can do reverse plank, straight legs, or tabletop, bend your knees. Either one. Press down, lift up. Reverse tabletop or plank. If you feel like you got halted in lifting, try stepping your feet wider, see if that helps you go up higher. Try taking your hands to face a different direction. They can face in, they can face out, they can face back. Try taking your hands wider maybe, or more narrow even if you went way too wide. You just have to toggle around just like you did in the lunges till you find your center, your strongest foundation. Come down all the way to the floor, all the way onto your back. Relax the back of your head and your shoulders into the floor. Bridge pose. If you have a block, you can put it under to supported bridge. don't have a block and you tuck your shoulder blades into your back and tuck your arm bones under your body, you might feel a little more like ability to lift and hold, like that. You get more support underneath you, so holding becomes easier. Notice your breath at the front of your body, in your chest and in your belly, the rise and fall, the ebb and flow. Come down, take butterfly. Feet together, knees wide. You can stand butterfly or take happy baby. Grab your feet. Pigeon on your back or on your belly. So even though the word dukkha sounds like it means dirt or dirty, it really doesn't. And just like that, the word Saucha means cleanliness, and it sounds like it means the opposite of dirty, but it really doesn't. It's not talking about dirty like dirt of the earth. It's talking more about, physical, like we said, physical debris, like the stuff that comes from pollution and the stuff that comes from what we eat and what we intake. And then mental debris, thoughts, things like that. But it's also talking about clutter, right? Like stuff that gets in the way. So just like you apply, this practice of yoga to your body and your mind to create that process of purification, there's probably somewhere in your life you could apply the same. Perhaps there's some things, like physical things, items, or happenings that you could purge. Some areas you could clean up to create Saucha. And sometimes it doesn't even mean getting rid of stuff. Like I'm thinking of my desk at home right now, and like everything that's on it needs to be on it, but it's all like a mess right now. So it doesn't foster, feeling grounded or feeling creative. So it's not that I have to get rid of that stuff, just like, reorganize it, set it up in a Saucha way. Switch legs. Come up to a seat. Take wide legs. Reach for one foot and then go up and over, side bend. Keep your front body facing forward and gaze up. I like to put my elbow on my leg and then cradle my head into that. Try to avoid just letting your head hang there. Turn and face the floor, face the leg that you're leaning over, and reach for that outside of your leg, so outer ankle. Switch, come up and over, side bend first. And turn and face your leg. Turn your whole front body and reach your hands to the outside of your leg. Come up. Reverse tabletop or plank. One more. Turn yourself inside out. Come all the way onto your back. Pull your knees in and twist. Switch sides. Shavasana. Take a deep breath in and out. Roll onto your side. And come up to a seat. Bring your hands up to heart. Imagine the sound of Om like a cleansing shower. Do you know those showers that just feel so needed? You're so ready to get in there and just like wash the day away. Imagine Om like that from the inside out. Take a deep breath in. Together we say, Namaste. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone on Zoom.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Teacher trainees, you can stick around. I'll be back in a minute. Tomorrow. Yeah. No, I'm driving. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go to Durham first. So Durham is like 9 hours. Stay overnight. Then drive up to Maryland the next morning, so Friday morning. That's like a 4 or 5 hour drive, I think. So I'm breaking it into legs. And then wedding is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Staying there till Monday. Drive to Jersey on Monday. Yeah. Yeah. I know. 12 days. Yeah. 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 And then on the way back, so I leave, so I'm in Jersey for like a week, a little less than a week, and then I leave from there. And I don't have a plan for the way down yet, but I need to figure out a stopover point. So there's no way I'm doing. And I have a lot of friends up and down anyway, so I'll go somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. I've done that too, and it feels so much better. You're welcome. That's so fun. All the tourist attractions. Oh my God. True. True.
48 days, girl, 48 days. Pray.
Counting.
After that, it's Christmas or something.
Right.
So have a safe trip. I won't see you next week.
Yeah, I'm teaching on Zoom, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the in-person ones I think are still happening. This one specifically, I'm pretty positive. Just look on the mind body.
Good one. Safe travel.
Thank you. I love how your mirrors tuck in. Really? I know. It's crazy. See ya. Hey, everybody. Big crew today. All right, I gotta get to the floor because My computer doesn't fit in the cubby with the charger in the hole. Okay. Hi. Let me see who's here. Let me look at all your videos. Awesome. Cool. So welcome. Some of you might be new faces to the Q&A session. So I'm Danielle. The way I like to start Q&A is with what did you get out of the class? Like what nuggets? And that applies as a teacher, as a student, and any other, anything from every angle. What did you notice? Did you notice any cues that you loved? Did you notice, like, was there like a pose or a transition or a string of poses or something that you could take away as a tool for your own toolbox? Did you get any certain message? You can write in the chat, or yeah, I'd like to hear some of you. I like voices. Let's hear them. What did you get out of class?
I really love the purifying theme.
Yeah.
Definitely a different perspective.
Yeah. And unique to talk about in a cool flow. It's really easy to talk about that in like a hot power, where you're like huffing and puffing and sweating and so much moving and stuff like that.
I really loved the time that we took to slow down, especially like when we had our foot elevated and then like we took the time to come down into Warrior One. Like you said, I think, you know, in a hot power class, like we're always moving so fast and it's always like so quick that when you slow down, you start to notice all those accessory muscles and all those little muscles that you're not always using. And so that was really cool to like really feel each muscle engage as like I put my foot down onto the ground slowly. That was my favorite part.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's one of my favorite things to do is to get people to take things in slow-mo, I always say, because we miss a lot, you know, all the big muscles, the strong muscles jump in to do all the work when we're just like blasting through things. So I love to slow it down and like really get people in their body more than they even realize. Anyone else want to share out loud? Lots of good stuff in the chat. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, cool beans. So I used it. Okay, so we talked about Saucha. So the last couple weeks we've been talking about the yamas. And those, if you break it down like really in like really simple terms, they seem to be things like not to do. And then the niyamas seem to be things to do. It's not that simple. Thanks, Allison. It's not that simple, but you know, you could look at it that simply. And so this is the first niyama, Saucha, and it's cleanliness. That's the word that most people will say like right off the bat for it. People use the word purification as well. And I always like to say, like, there's the way we talk about it at Warrior, and I usually give that context, like if you're new to Q&A, and then there's the way that many people talk about it. So like the things that you'll hear if you go read about it or go to a class somewhere else or something. You know, there's certain ways that we like to focus on things at Warrior that, you know, do what our mission says, that break the drift. So sometimes we have like a different spin on things, not different, but certain angle, and then you might hear other words. So I like to give you all of what you'll hear. But yeah, so cleanliness, purification. I didn't do this today, but I usually do this, and I wish I did it so you could have had the example, but I'll just explain it to you. So usually before class, if I'm going to talk about Saucha, I'll make everyone tidy up their mat space. And it's less pertinent now because people have less stuff by their mats, but like pre-COVID days, there would be like the block, the towel, the water, the this, the that, you know, like 30 different things on their mat space. And this might apply to you all at home. But in here, like they have like their mask and that's all they have by their mat usually. But so I'll have them like tidy up their mat space and put everything like on one corner, but the block, their water next to the block, fold their towel, lay it across the top like that. And then I'll explain how Saucha is like tidiness, not the opposite of dirty, but the opposite of cluttered. Because clutter equals stuck. Clutters your brain, clutters your productivity, clutters your creativity, clutters your ability to connect, you know, like stuff, whether it's stuff up here or stuff around your mat, gets in the way. And what we're doing is breaking people's drift. And usually the stuff is what's like, it's their boat on the river of the drift. So you want to break that boat down and get them like swimming. You want to get them taking action in their lives, right? So that's what I usually do like at the start of a class if I'm going to teach Saucha.
Danielle, I love that. I was going to say, since we're taking it from home with everything that's been going on, we have a lot of clutter in our home. So every time I take a home yoga class, I literally clean my room and I take my carpet and put it away and just put my mat down. And it makes a difference.
Wow. That's such a cool insight. And such an important thing to say right now, because think about that. Like, yeah, you're teaching new people on Zoom. Like, so I'm over here talking about like pre-COVID times, but let's talk about like what's happening right now. So if you're teaching new people on Zoom, you know, the same way I would guide them to do that, like you could guide them to do what Sahar just said with like, you know, look around your space, what's in the way, get that thing out of there. You know, it doesn't even take that much time to just adjust, get your mat down, put your whatever stuff you have at the top of the mat. Yeah, you could speak to it easily. So good. Thank you for that. Yeah, so that's like physical space, right? And Saucha applies there.
The analogy of cleaning your desk really landed for me as far as not being the opposite of dirty, but just being tidy. You needed all those things, but can you organize them differently?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's important to, you know, the thing that, not that I don't love it, but I don't love it, like Marie Kondo stuff, minimalism, all these different things. Like, I love it, but I don't love it. I just don't love anything that makes people feel like they have to go to some extreme in order to feel better or, you know, shift their lives or get out of their drift or something. So it doesn't have to be extreme. You don't have to go get rid of all your stuff. Like, I don't have to get rid of anything on my desk. Like, I want the Buddha there. I want the 5 crystals there. I need all my Post-its that are there. I need my pens and my things, but like, could I put the Post-its in one line and then put the pens in a cup instead of all over the desk? Can I, you know, put the Buddha and the crystals in their little corner, you know, like that? I don't have to get rid of any of it. I just need to adjust it so that it has better flow and that I'm not like moving the pens to get the Post-it and then, you know, like that. I just never want to make people do extreme things because most people won't then.
So what about the humans like my children and my husband who, when I have them organize their things, like they truly seem to function better in that chaos. And that's a big struggle for me, to not try to shape them what I want and what works for me. But sometimes I look at their space and I'm just like, I don't even understand. And I try to give them all these organizational tools, and it has to come back to that. That clutter doesn't feel stuck for them.
Exactly. That's it right there. You can't change what other people get out of their own space.
that's not the type of Saucha that they need then, obviously.
We don't know. The only thing you can do is speak to it and talk about why it's important. You know, like if your kids are doing, let's say, and I don't know how they are or anything, but let's just say they were doing like online schooling or something. You want to look for like what's important to them. So if they actually care about, you know, getting good grades, or if they care about something else and good grades leads to that, then, you know, you can't do that unless you have a space that feels good to you. So does this feel good to you or no? You can't decide for them though.
Yeah, their filth feels good to them.
Yeah. It's hard. But yeah, I mean, yeah, good question, Meg.
So for me, it's about distraction, like whether or not the clutter is distracting. And
Yeah, yeah.
I used to think I was procrastinating by straightening up my desk before I did the things that I needed to accomplish. But eventually realized that I couldn't think clearly. I couldn't be as creative as I needed to be if I had that sort of mess happening. So
Right.
really gave me like the freedom to do what I needed to do. So kind of necessary versus distraction or procrastination.
Yeah, I love that. I put that in the chat too. The opposite of distraction. Saucha is like the opposite of distraction. Really good. Yeah, Allison said time management is coming up for me, decluttering my time. Yeah, so good, right? So it's physical space, your calendar / your time. It's also the things we talked about in class. It's your body, physical body, which gets cluttered by the things we intake, whether it's pollution, food, drink, drugs, anything that you take in. And then mind, your mind, yeah, energy as well. Your energy is like all that's inside and all that's outside and around that's unseen, right? So yeah, totally, all the things like that could be like if you have, you know, somebody in your life who's constantly like right now I have a friend that I'm struggling so much with to communicate with, like every single day feels like a struggle. It's an unseen force, but it's like affecting me inside, it's affecting me around me, it's affecting between us. And so like it's, you know, it's like it's a mess in the energy for sure. And then your mind. So we talked about mind today, and that's like that's thoughts really. But it's also like what you take into your mind. I guess this applies to thoughts too, like, you know, what you read, what you watch, all that stuff, what you listen to. Thoughts. And so we did a couple of practices in the class. I talked about like the mat or the space cleanup, which we didn't do, but now you know it. That's one practice. Breathing. Duh. Is purification. Any type of breathing, all types of breathing, even your most shallow, like everyday breathing, but that's like the least powerful of all of them. The hand exercise, which a lot of you wrote about in here. That's a good practice that you can use like in a classroom setting. And what that's for is the mind. Keeps your attention on one thing. That's a mind purifier. The mat space cleanup is space. You get that's obvious. The breathing is both mind, because if you're doing a pranayama practice, then you have to focus on it. So you take your attention to the breath, and it's also body. You eliminate a lot of toxic stuff on the breath. We also did. I spoke to it so minimally, and I wish I spoke to it more a little bit, but we also did the knee squeeze, which is like a kidney pressure. um, which anytime you put pressure on, just the same way if you use pressure points and they have a certain effect on your body, anytime you put pressure on certain parts of your body, certain like meridians, energy channels of your body, different things happen. So your kidneys are physically right back there in your lowest back. And so when you're hugging your knees on the floor, you're putting some pressure and some weight into them. And then there's also bladder meridians that run up and down your back. It's like an acupuncture thing. And it's the energy of the bladder, which is close to in Eastern traditions, like close with the kidneys. So that's a good body one. Hip openers are great purifying poses. It's a lot of like kidney stuff as well, most hip poses. Did we do anything else in class? Mantras, we didn't do them, but a mantra is a mind purifier. And then of course, like if you were teaching power, the sweat, the moving, core work, lots of that stuff, that's all really, really good purifiers. Vitality sequence is like prime, all the twisting. Who is named user? Does anybody know who that is? If you're there, user, let us know who you are. Om, oh yeah. Om as a purification, like a shower for the inside. Yeah. I think that's all the ones we did for this class. Yeah. Any other questions about Saucha or the niyamas, since we're moving into that, or any of the practices we just talked about? Okay. Well, come back tonight. I'm teaching half and half at 6 and then power at 7:30. So you'll hear Saucha again, but with different contexts and probably different practices. It's really cool. Like if you really want to get these concepts, it's really great to see them in different settings as a student. And then even more importantly, right now as a teacher, to look with that lens when you're taking class. Yeah, come back tonight. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
I miss you, Danielle.
Miss you too.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
We're going up north, my neck of the woods. Hey.
Yeah, it's freezing up there right now.
Is it really? I haven't even checked in.
It's like 40s in the nighttime, which is really cold for September.
Totally. But like, don't you love to like create warmness? Like I love the scarves and hot cocoa or pumpkin spice.
I cannot wait for chai. Hot chai, not
so
ice.
Jealous. Love it. All right. See you soon.
See you. Hey, if you're there, user, I want to know who you are. Unmute yourself, or I'm gonna invite you.
Yeah, great presentation today with the representative from the consulate of.
Are you there?
So
your name says user.
The reason why our delayed start, based on their schedule, they couldn't join us until 8 o'clock. However, we do have a little bit of a promo to share ahead of time. So click back.